Admiral Zexthai stood on the bridge of the Dominion's fist, watching the tactical display with the satisfaction of a predator cornering its prey. For 3 centuries, the Calaxian Empire had swept across the galaxy, subjugating species after species with ruthless efficiency. Their fleet of 10,000 warships had never known defeat. "Sir, the human homeworld is within range," reported his tactical officer, mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Their pathetic defense fleet is already scattering." Zexthai's 4 eyes gleamed. Humanity had been nothing but a nuisance, a backwater species that had somehow managed to colonize a few dozen systems before the Empire found them. Intelligence suggested they possessed no advanced weapons, no shields worth mentioning, and certainly nothing that could threaten calaxian superiority. "Begin the bombardment sequence," he commanded. "I want their cities reduced to—" "Admiral!" The communications officer's voice cracked with confusion. "Unknown vessel emerging from hyperspace. It's massive, sir." The main screen flickered, showing a ship unlike anything in the Empire's vast databases. It was sleek and impossibly long, easily dwarfing even the Empire's largest dreadnoughts. Its hull was a deep black that seemed to absorb light itself, broken only by lines of pulsing, blue energy that ran along its surface like veins. "What class is it?" Zexthai demanded, but his officers could only stare in bewilderment. The ship moved with grace that defied its size, gliding between the scattered remnants of Earth's defense fleet. It made no aggressive moves, issued no threats. It simply existed, hanging in space like a dark omen. "Sir, I'm reading energy signatures I've never seen before," the sensor operator whispered. "The power output it's off the charts, higher than our entire fleet combined." Zexthai's confidence wavered for the first time in decades. "Open a channel to that ship. Demand identification and surrender." Static filled the bridge before a voice emerged, calm, measured, and speaking perfect Calaxian, despite humanity having no prior contact with the Empire's language. "Calaxian Fleet, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Vessel Reckoning. You have entered human space with hostile intent. Withdraw immediately, or face the consequences." Laughter erupted across the bridge. A single ship against 10,000? The audacity was almost amusing. "Human vessel," Zexthai replied. "You face the might of the Calaxian Empire. Surrender now, and your death will be quick." "Negative. This is your final warning." The Admiral's patience snapped. "All ships target that vessel and—" The reckoning moved. One moment it hung motionless in space. The next it had somehow appeared directly in the center of the Calaxian formation. The blue lines along its hull flared brighter, and space itself seemed to ripple around the ship. What happened next defied every law of physics the Empire understood. The reckoning didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, streams of what looked like liquid starlight erupted from ports along its hull. Where these beams touched Calaxian ships, reality seemed to break. Hulls didn't explode or melt. They simply ceased to exist, leaving perfectly spherical voids in their wake. In the first 10 seconds, 300 Imperial warships vanished. "Impossible," Zexthai snarled. "Focus all fire on that ship." Thousands of plasma bolts and antimatter torpedoes converged on the human vessel. They struck its hull and disappeared. Not absorbed, not deflected, they entered the ship's defensive field and simply stopped existing. The reckoning continued its deadly dance, moving through the Imperial fleet like a shark through minnows. Its exotic weapons carved through ships with surgical precision, each shot eliminating another piece of the Empire's pride. "Sir, we've lost 60% of the fleet," his tactical officer screamed. "Our weapons aren't even scratching it." But Zexthai barely heard him. He was transfixed by what he saw on the sensors, readings that made no sense. The human ship wasn't just using advanced technology. It was manipulating space-time itself, folding reality to its will. "How?" he whispered. "How do they possess such power?" As if in answer, Captain Chen's voice filled the bridge again, still maddeningly calm. "You asked how we do this, Admiral. The answer is simple. We learned. For 300 years we watched, You burn worlds and enslave species. We studied every ship you lost, every weapon you used, every trick in your arsenal. And then we improved on it. Another wave of the exotic beams swept through the Imperial formation. Entire battle groups vanished in moments. We didn't just build better ships, Admiral. We broke physics and rebuilt it to our specifications. We learned to weaponize dark energy, to turn gravity into a scalpel, to make time itself our ally. The Dominion's fist shuddered as ships around it ceased to exist. Of the mighty fleet that had arrived to conquer Earth, fewer than 1,000 remained, and that number was falling rapidly. But most importantly, Chen continued, we learned patience. We let you think we were weak, let you underestimate us, while we prepared for this moment. Every world you conquered, every species you enslaved, they all contributed to this technology. Your victims became our teachers. Zexthai's hands shook as he reached for the emergency beacon, a signal that would alert the Imperial capital to send reinforcements. But as his claws touched the controls, they passed right through them. He looked down in horror to see his hands becoming translucent. What's happening to me? Temporal dissolution field, Chen explained matter-of-factly. You and your ships are being removed from this timeline. In 30 seconds, your fleet will never have existed. The Empire will receive no warning, no cry for help. They'll simply wake up tomorrow to find their most powerful battle group has vanished without a trace. The Admiral watched in growing terror as his crew began to fade, becoming ghostly outlines of themselves. Around them, the bridge itself was dissolving into quantum foam. Please, he whispered. Mercy. The same mercy you showed to 1,000 worlds? Chen's voice carried no anger, only cold finality. No, Admiral. This is justice. As the Dominion's fist and its crew faded into temporal oblivion, the last thing Admiral Zexthai saw was the reckoning, turning toward the heart of calaxian space, its blue veins pulsing with terrible purpose. Within hours, similar mysterious, ships would appear over every Imperial world simultaneously. The Calaxian Empire, built over 3 centuries of conquest, would fall in a single day. And no one would ever know what those ships were, except that they were humanity's answer to 300 years of waiting.